Hey everybody, it's Kasha Gage. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing a look at my album setup for my Week in the Life 2026. I'll give you guys a couple other ideas or thoughts depending upon maybe you guys can translate this for your own project as well, or some of the supplies, even ideas for the ones I won't be using. So I'm going back to a 10 by 8 this year. Last year I did a 6 by 8. And I ended up with 2 albums. I think I had 2 albums a year of 2021. And there's, I think, a walkthrough for that one. I've unarchived my YouTube videos for Week in the Life as well, if you're interested. I know 2020, I think, is only on my Instagram and my Reels. But anyway, I'm going back to a big size album. You guys know me, I'm a photographer. I love the big photos. And this is going to be my 7th year. So even going into it this year, I'm trying to think of different approaches, whether it's with my photography or with my documenting and pulling everything together. So that being said, let's just kind of dive in. I'll talk through some other ideas. This is a piece of vellum that came from one of the kits this year. It might have been one of the storyteller kits. And this wood piece here, this is from, I don't remember. It might have been an add-on. It might have been with the, was it Funny? Or was there maybe a Laugh story kit? That's what I want to say it went from. The 2026 piece, that might have been from January. I can't really remember. I always like to have something that just kind of opens, or almost like a precursor for the intro, if you will. There we go. For the album. And a lot of times I always do a front to back, like 2 photos, so front to back and my reason why. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that this year. There was this one tag. I think I might just put that there with a little piece of yellow ribbon, so it's sitting there. I will say the one idea I had while I was trying to take a nap today with my daughter, or I should say getting her to take a nap, but I was thinking about different ways to do the reason why. And I think it was maybe my 2020, I had a card, like a 4x6 card, whether it was maybe had a title or sentiment or something, and then the reason why I was on the back. And I was thinking of that again, and I'm like, so I'm contemplating, I'm getting there, guys, getting to my point, doing like a 4x6 card or something for my reason why, and maybe with a photo. I don't think Allie Edwards has ever done a vellum 4x6 pocket, or a vellum pocket for a 4x6 card. If she did, correct me. I know for December Daily years ago, they did the canvas pocket, which I think I still might have one. I could go dig through my supplies. But I thought, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a vellum pocket and you put the card, or if it even said something like my reason why. Allie and team, if you're watching this, that's like a huge want. That would be super cool for December Daily too, right? If it was something you could just, I know they make the different sizes, like, what is it, the 3x8 vellum pocket? Anyway, I don't know. I need to think through that, but that's kind of where I'm thinking I want my reason why is some type of pocket or something over there that's a photo. Or I guess I could just even do like a silhouette cut of vinyl and putting something in there. I don't know. Sorry, I'm rambling or getting sidetracked. So, supplies I have are mostly from this year's kit, or the add-ons. I really do not have much in my stash anymore either. So just trying to go through. There were 7 of these, the color, these 3x4 pockets, these vellum pockets. And I pulled the gratitude card, and I just realized before I hopped on here, I was like, oh, I'm so smart. I'm going to use this in the 3x4 pocket. This is not an actual 3x4 card, guys. Because let me even see, where did the other one, I was thinking I was going to put this one over here, and then, oh, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit, which I can possibly cut it down. But see, this is, I don't know if you can see if like how much slightly it's off for being a 3x4 to go inside the other pockets. So yeah, I might have to come back to it. I was considering doing like the news. In this specific journal card, I have no idea what to use or how to use it because of these 2 bars. Like, I mean, I guess you could put May and then the date or something. Another idea I was thinking was the weather for like the high and the low. Again, that's kind of, could I like trim this? It would be like really tight. Maybe I could cut the margin off so I could still use it and put like the screenshot of whatever, the LA Times or New York Times or something. And I was thinking of putting it in here. I did a similar treatment like that. Was it last year or 2 years ago, where I put some type of pocket on the front of a transparency or something of that. But I don't mind doing it again because every album lives on its own. Anyway, so that's kind of where I'm at for the intro. These transparencies were from a few years ago, I think. They might still have something. And if you guys don't have these transparencies, maybe, and you want to do something like this, go through your stash. Or you could completely do a pocket like this on top of a photo or a pattern paper. And these labels, I'm going to stamp the date just to go on the back. That's kind of where I'm leading at. So I've went ahead, I've sorted things out by kind of followed the color formula and just group things. This will most likely, this is I think a 10x4 journal card, is going to go in with a page attacher and like a flow photo. I'm thinking of cropping this off because my idea to use this is like the things she says. I don't think there's a stamp. Maybe you guys will know and you could tell me. I'm looking for a little tiny stamp, the things she says, or the things we say, or the things you say, or the things I say. I don't know if there was one, and I'm going to have to go back and look through a bunch of different stamp archives. But if not, I can just as easily print something out. So I'm kind of thinking like this would, right? Just going to tell you. So the things she says, or the things you say, and then quotations of stuff she says. And that might just be, I handwrite it. Maybe it's overlaid on a photo of what she says. It's just kind of, I'm trying to leave a few things loose here and there. So here we go. Going into a couple of pockets. Each day is set up pretty much the same. I follow the exact same formula as of right now. What I'm thinking is this is what, 12, I can't even think, 12 squares, page protector, right? So 24. I'm thinking I'm going to chop this down. I actually have some from Citrus Twist kits that are only 8 pockets. So I think I'll just do that. And I think I'm going to sew these. But again, I'm leaving a few things open just because I might want to move something else around. But this is the direction I think I'm going to go. And maybe this gets filled with embellishment. Maybe it's another little photo. This specific card here, as of right now, what I'm kind of thinking is maybe it's just like a reflection of that day. Not necessarily, because I have several other spots for journaling, maybe like a what I want to remember. I've done that again several days in the past too. So we'll see. Here I've thought about maybe I'm considering doing like a grid of photos or one photo that's printed on transparency or on vellum because I like the peekaboo effect and then you would see it both ways. I need to test that out to see how that works. So we'll see. An open spot. This card, again, I think I'll marry that with like a big photo and the same thing, a big photo on the back. And then this spot could be home for more words or little photos or something. Kind of what I'm thinking is it's going to be like in this season, like she is, I am, we are. That's ultimately the direction I'm thinking of going with that, but we'll see. And so you'll see. I was so smart, Kasha. Yeah, thinking this was going to go in here for pockets. I guess it still could. I don't know. Or I might just even reprint these out so it fits a full 3x4 and just tuck these aside for something else. Because what I was starting to think was that I would have 2 cards, right? So, and that leaves spots for 4 photos. And then you'll see on the back side, I have spots for another 4 photos. So this today's story journal card, I just went ahead and I made this using the stamp that was it this year's template? I need to like notate to myself. I think I'm just going to reprint these and then maybe use that for the opener. And then in the back side, I've gone through, I had already used 1 card from the Note to Self kit that came out this year, but I still had 7 left. So I have those. They pretty much coordinate with the colors. I'm great with that. And then I used the digital from, was this Highs and Lows kit? I'm trying to go through and use my supplies I was going to use the physical, but I didn't like that the colors didn't match. I don't know. That bothers me. Okay, so I'm added in a couple more journaling. These cards, the 1, 2, for some reason, I don't know. I was like, what do I put? 1, 2, or, my husband first looked at it and he goes, what does 12 mean? Like, you could completely do that, right? At noon every day or something. I pulled these out and I went ahead and did this card, one good thing, because there's always something. So trying to find the good in every day or looking for one specific good thing from the day. Another home for journaling. And on the back, the highs and lows. Again, I was going to use a physical, but I wanted 7 and there were only 6 on that paper and I wanted to adjust the colors. So use the digital to modify. And then this just flows into the same format here. So kind of see everything's laid out, a different card, right? And then how these go. So a couple of things you guys can completely remember. Whatever you have for digitals, make them work for you. Modify them, tweak the colors. Something doesn't make sense or doesn't work for your flow, completely then tweak it, right? Which is what I did in this case. I did consider at one point using those half circles that came. Like I thought, like those could have been cool, or you do a half circle photo with this, or maybe you put those on the, you stitch them, cut off those holes, stitch them here. I love the little tab on the side, but what I would have wished is if these were the solid color of the kit. Could completely go in and look for cardstock that matches, or could print them out. That would just, for me, be a lot of ink to lay down. I also considered, doing essentially like if this was an entire photo across and it had a curved edge, I think that would be cool. But something else I was noticing, there were, I think, 8 of these Instax. Like you could completely do an Instax photo, size photo. I don't know, do something like that, right? That might look a little busy with the line art, but you get the idea. So just kind of, like I said, make them work for you, whatever. I, as of right now, don't think I'm going to use a story lens. I know I've done that several times in the past, and you guys have probably heard me talk about it in past videos or even on Instagram. I am not planning to use the journal this year. I'm still on the fence whether I'm going to handwrite in the moment. That's part of it this year. I think I'm really going to do the handwritten route rather than all of the typed journaling. I love the look of the type, but there's something also about having the handwritten word. And sometimes that also feels less polished, more, I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but less, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, you guys, but just definitely more raw, maybe. I don't know. But I'm going to plan to take notes probably on some college ruled line paper because that's always my jam. And, that's, I grew up where you wrote everything down. You definitely cannot take paper and pen from me. So I think I'm going to keep track of stuff, right, throughout the day, writing it down on a notebook, like a pad of paper, and then when I come to bring everything together, I'll recopy. So it's just kind of even almost like bullet points. But I at least giving myself the space for these words, right? So now when I know I'm coming to this, I'm going to have what things I find interesting. I'm going to have some gratitude, whether today was easy or hard, a note to myself, looking for one good thing, what the highs and lows were. And then maybe a point for reflection on the day. And then some things like she said, or maybe it's an awesome thing she did. I'm not sure, but I decided not to do, this goes back to, or I'm interjecting, the long block journaling. I love that. And I love pouring all the words. And some years are words heavy, some are photo heavy. Sometimes there's a mix. What I found flipping back through them over this past weekend, that I skimmed it when I was flipping through. I didn't dive into reading all the words. So I don't know if it just felt like it was too much written or too heavy. All I know is I need to mix things up. I'm sure I will put journaling on photos because that's something I love to do. And then as far as embellishments go, Again, there's no set formula for that either. It's going to be when I come to it, but I do have things sorted out by day, right? So you have some of this is from this year, some of it was from last year, and then I have some word phrase stickers, and this is it for Week in the Life supplies, and those are just the leftover like chipboards and stuff, which hands down to this day, this is by far one of my favorite Week in the Life chipboards ever. And so I keep hoarding some of this, or anytime somebody says they have something of this, I'm like, please let me have it. I may incorporate these ones. The one thing I will say I wish is that I wish there would have been 7 of each word, so that way you could have done, if you wanted to do a repetition, right? If you wanted to do loving for every single day, like say on this card. And I'm someone that like my colors just need to line up, or if I'm doing loving, I kind of almost want to carry that out for all 7 days. So the fact like you only have 5 lovings, or, you know, the list 5 of these ing words, it's kind of, for me, I would feel like, okay, what do I do on those other 2 days? Right? Or like I said, you have to pick and choose based on what colors coordinate for the kit. So I don't know if I will use these, how I will use these. Maybe I will include some more stamping. Yeah, that's kind of it. And what I was saying about photos. So I think just in my head, I always kind of have like a running list of things I want to take a photo of or make sure I capture, stuff that's like really important to me, generally speaking, or especially in this season. In case you didn't know, I do have a 2-year-old, so I'm very in the toddler mom era and very busy with her. So I'm already thinking about what activities are we doing? What does the rhythms of our day look like? And how do I even say this? I want to sit in those moments a little bit longer. And just, I want to sit in those moments longer, or be present, or shoot through some of those scenes even, or I just know that there's this, I don't know if I can, I'm rambling today, guys, but it's this thing of like, I feel it, I'm not trying to be all woo-woo-y, but I feel it inside of me of just wanting to approach it differently. And even my mindset is slightly different going into it this year, or like, I know it's going to be different, like how I shoot the photos and stuff too. So I don't know if I will share this album. The past 2 years I have not shared, and that is out of privacy for my daughter. And while I do share some photos or tell a few stories of her and stuff on Instagram, there's something for me that, especially at this age or just even our life, that feels very vulnerable. And as you guys know, I mean, once you put something out on the internet, you can never take it back. And I don't necessarily want some of these private or intimate moments or to be immortalized forever, right? In the internet stratosphere. I would love to, at least what I can do to protect her, or to preserve some of that where it's just us in this album. So you may see the album, but most likely, if anything, I'll just be sharing some of the photos over on Instagram, or a couple of snippets here and there. Sorry, this was a long one, y'all. I did not intend for that. If you guys have questions, please be sure to let me know in the comments below. And of course, I want to be cheering you on and supporting you. So you guys doing this project, let me know. So I would love to spread some love and rally behind you. All right, everybody, till next time, take care.